If you like audiobooks or audio shows, check out a free trial of Audible. Just click the link in the description.
Welcome to Mindshock True Crime. This is your host, Bruce McGuire. You are listening to the Delphi Murders series. This is episode 32, Kline's police interview. So we are going to go over the transcript that was so-called leaked online regarding Kegan Kline's interview with police and what he said to them, what it all means in the context of the case. And this is Mindshock, so we're going to be going over the whole thing, logically analyzing it, and then also going over other law enforcement individuals' opinions of this interview, what it all means. Was this a fishing expedition, or do they really believe that Kegan Kline has something to do with the deaths of Liberty German and Abigail Williams? As always, if you enjoy the podcast, want to help support Mindshock, help us get more mind-shocking content out there and keep up awareness, not just in this unsolved case, but in other unsolved cases, cold cases, missing persons cases, and wrongful convictions. You can donate to our PayPal. Just check the link in the description. You can also become a YouTube member right here on YouTube for access to exclusive streams and chats. Like and share the podcast. Keep the awareness up. Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, Patreon. Patrons do get priority for case topic, logical analysis, co-podcast requests. You could also be a guest on the podcast depending on your tier. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell for notifications. And any questions, comments, theories, thoughts, suggestions, rebuttals, debunkings of any kind, leave them in the comment section. So, let's jump right in here. So, the PDF here that has been so-called leaked. Now, some people believe this is all released on purpose by law enforcement for whatever reason, to kind of shake the trees, or to distract while they pursue other avenues, as not to further contaminate the case with all of the social media speculation. It is really hard to accurately determine the motivations and actions of law enforcement in this case. It's very unusual. The only thing we can say for sure is the case is as of yet unsolved. So the criticism is warranted just by that mere fact alone. I went over these stats in previous episodes, but most cases that are not solved within the first few weeks when an arrest is not made, the likelihood drops substantially that an arrest will ever be made. So let's go over this. So this is State of Indiana, County of Miami, the State of Indiana versus Kegan Kline. In the Miami Circuit Court, it says filed here March 3rd, 2022, 3:13 p.m. And it says here, videotaped statement of Kegan A. Kline on August 19th, 2020. So we could see what he said there. Also compare it to his other interview. So there's some introductions here. Not going to go over those. Although, I'll go over a few here. As soon as they get in here, I'm going to head out, but I appreciate you being cooperative. So I'm assuming there's multiple. Yeah, it's questioning by an unidentified officer. Curious. Yeah, a quiet, easygoing on the way up here. Kline answers, yeah, no problem. I know you guys deal with probably all kinds of crazy people. Interesting, the response by the officer. Well, there are some, but there's a lot of good people too. Right. But yeah, I'd say you're on the list of eventful people that I've arrested. You're way down the bottom as far as eventful. It was, yeah, kind of a non-issue. Right, which is good. Yeah. Okay, so they're talking about a mask. I guess this is the COVID era. I'll go get you a mask while we're sitting here before I leave, since I got it in the car. Officer leaves interview room, re-enters interview room. Hey, Kegan, yeah, they said that they're just going to let you talk out and take it off when you talk to them. Are you comfortable with? Are you all right with that? I'm fine with that, yeah. Okay, they said they're fine with that too. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Okay, if you just want to make sure, not worrying about mask. Okay, I appreciate it. Let me get a key. Leaves, re-enters. Okay, so he's removing his restraints, handcuffs. Okay. The officer says, just please don't take a swing at me while you're standing here. He answers, oh no, I'm like the least, most violent person. Okay, so Kegan's response here, not the least violent person, the least, most violent person. Huh. Okay, some more pleasantries. Thanks for not being any trouble, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now here comes Detective Vito. I'm Detective Vito with the Indiana State. Okay. Also, Deputy Clinton here. So you obviously want to know what's going on today? Yeah. Okay. They're reading some paperwork. They advise him of his rights at this juncture. Supposedly, judging from information in a previous interview, they did not read him his rights at the time of the arrest. So apparently they went over the rights here. You have a right to talk to a lawyer before we ask you questioning. Okay. They ask him if he understands. The answer is inaudible. So whatever that means. Did he say he did not understand these rights? Who knows? Okay. Okay, they ask him to sign and print. Okay. They're giving him a copy of the arrest warrant at this point. Isn't this supposed to be done at the time of the arrest? Not after he's already arrested and sitting in his room? It's kind of weird. Okay, so they're charging him here. Kline forthwith hold the person to bail in the amount of no bond to answer in the Miami Circuit Court of Miami County in the state of Indiana, and information for count 1, child exploitation, a level 5 felony, count 2, possession of child pornography, a level 5 felony, count 3, possession of child pornography, a level 5 felony, count 4, possession of child pornography, level 5 felony, count 5, possession, okay, all these different counts. Oh, one of them is level 6 felony? Okay. Obstruction of justice, level 6 felony. Count 9. Oh, so several different obstruction of justice counts as well. More possession, child exploitation, more possession. Oh, wow. 16 count, 18, 19, 24, 25. Wow, just pages of these counts. So it goes to count 30. Possession of child pornography, level 5 felony, and for inaudible bail, commit him to the jail of the county, and therefore, without any necessary delay, bring him before the said court and witness, whereof I, the judge of said court, subscribe by name. Okay. So you obviously know why you're here with this. I do want to make it clear that we have watched the previous interviews when this had come up in the past. Right. Okay. You understand what's going on. Obviously, you have a problem. Answer. Are you talking about all the stuff that was on those old phones? Is what this is about? The phones, Answer from Kline. So like I told that, I can't remember her name. She was like I don't know, something with the child division. All those are old videos when I was underage. Question. Well, and I want to make it clear, too, that we not only have watched your interviews, right, but we've personally gone through each device, right? We've watched the videos, yeah. We've seen the pictures, and I can tell you were not underage at the time. Okay. Answer by Kline. Of all the underage girls I talked to, I was definitely underage for any of those pictures that I got from them. Question. And that's not what the data that we have. On the metadata of those images, I mean they're time-stamped. Kline responds, right. This is a little while, obviously, but Kline. And a few of those charges, can I see that again so I can ask? Yeah, which one are you thinking about? It was like, I don't know, I can't remember. I have to. Sorry, my mind's going crazy right now. Like, what is, like, child exploitation? What is that? Like, I've never been with a child before or anything like that. Officer responds, well, it's not necessarily about being with a child, but when we go to This is your Kik chat. This was on your iPhone when you're trading back and forth. Right. Officer says, child porn images, that's exploitation of a child. Kline says, okay, and obstruction of justice. Officer says, and we're going to get to all that, but I need to understand why. Right. So 3 years ago, you were not underage. Right. And you were in possession of all that as well. Right. So I know in your last interview, you have a problem. Right. And you said it yourself. Yeah. And I'm assuming you know problem like that just does not overnight correct itself. No, you're right. I moved to Las Vegas and I tried to completely change my life. And yeah, and then fell on hard times not having a good job and stuff, so I had to move back. But yeah, I hadn't done any of those stuff since then. That was a real wake-up call inaudible. When did you move to Vegas? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what. It was about 2 years ago. Well, no, I got back 3 years ago, probably. I don't know. I think June, maybe. Right around my birthday. It was right after that. June 2017. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So is he conveniently trying to say he was in Vegas until June 2017? You know where are you currently living now? That's where your residence is at? That's with your girlfriend? Answer, well, I stay with her sometimes, but I just bounce around really, but she lets me stay there as much as I need to. Officer says, okay, so June 2017 moved to Vegas. Where'd you stay out there? I had an apartment. Okay, what was the address? Okay, do you remember what the street was? He says, what was the address? I don't know. What the hell was that address? They ask for the street. He gives them the name of a road. That's my dad's address. I don't know. So his dad lived there also? This is weird. Wait, what? No, I had a friend that I moved out there with. Who was that? He gives the guy's name. It's redacted. He lived in Peru. Okay, some more redacted. What did you do for employment out there? A lot of stuff, really. We had a little medical marijuana business that we would do a delivery service with and stuff. A lot of money in that, isn't there? Yeah, there was. A lot of elderly people, that couldn't leave their house a lot and stuff, didn't want to get around and stuff like that. What caused you to move back? I just couldn't afford it. Rent was so expensive and just everything in general just so expensive out there. Officer says, so yeah, I could definitely see it being more expensive out there too. Yeah. My goal today, we're going to try, of course, to get to you to understand everything going on. I think there's some things we need to clear up too. In your original interview, you obviously said it was a problem that you had. Yeah. So you're saying it was a pretty big wake-up call. Yeah, definitely. I never had a problem with the police ever in my life. A whole bunch of redacted here. Just paragraphs of just black redacted blocks. Okay, after this block of redacted text, as for the child pornography stuff, you just stopped? Answer, oh yeah, definitely. Well, when I realized, how serious it is, okay. You don't think about it when you're talking to 16 and 17-year-old girls, and then you realize that when the knock comes at your door, hey, expletives not a joke. What we can do now then, since, you haven't viewed it since then, or no? Anything like that? No? Would you then give us consent for your phone? Yeah. To search your phone? Inaudible? Okay. Do you have computers or tablets or anything like that at your... I have a computer in my room, but it's not really... It's really old, but yeah, I have one in there. Would you give us consent for that as well? Yeah, definitely. Okay, any other electronic media, or maybe you have an Xbox or something? Yeah, I have an Xbox, yeah. Would you give us consent to search that? Yeah, definitely. Okay, what games you playing nowadays? Call of Duty. I don't even know what Call of Duty. Yeah. What are they on, 26? The new one called Warzone. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty fun. You do it online, talk expletive to kids? Yeah. All the time? Yeah. Inaudible? I used to play until the kids started getting really good. He responds right. Okay. I get so damn mad I got to throw it across the room, right? Yeah. Talk so much expletive, man. Answer, he's like 12. Yeah, he's destroying you like, no, yep. Okay, so they're just little bastards. I grew up on Nintendo, man. So these are the two officers here talking to him about this. Talking about controls and all that. Okay. How long have you been in Indiana back from Vegas? Like a year and a half, probably. Consistently the whole time or just bouncing around? Well, yeah, pretty much consistent the whole time. Yeah. And what phones do you have at your house? Just an iPhone. Or at the apartment, just an iPhone? Yeah. You know what model it is? It's called the SE. Is that like 2 models back or something, or is that a newer one? It's like the brand new one. You have an inaudible iPhone. Yeah. What color is it? Red? Red, it has like a black case. Okay, so what room is that in? The first room, all the way in the back, closer to the front where the TV is stuff? Yes, okay. Like, is that expletives place, though? Is that redacted's place, though? Yeah. Are you on the lease? No. You don't pay? Rent or nothing? No. Okay. How do you pull that off? She just lets me stay there when I need it. One of the officers says, I tried slumming at a girl's house, man. I get my expletive kicked out. I get my ass kicked out. Kline just says, yeah. And you said you have an Xbox. Yeah, where is that? What color is it? Black. Okay. You said a computer. Yeah, what kind of computer is it? I don't even know, honestly. That's how much I don't even use. It might be a Gateway or no, an HP, I think. An HP, yeah. Is it like an all-in-one or does it have a tower? It's like just a regular rectangle. I don't know. So, like, I bought it. Like, the disc and everything is all on the screen? Yeah, it's all in. Okay, so it's an all-in-one. Yeah, touch screen? No, I plug it right into my TV. Huh. Well, I got to think I could play games on it or something because it was a little cheaper. You can't even do anything on it. It's terrible. Okay, talking about streaming stuff. When'd you get it? 6 months. That's not that old. Huh. Okay, yeah, that's weird. It's only like $150 in Audible. Well, you just got that. When did you get the iPhone? They came out a few months ago, probably 2 months ago. 2 months ago, yeah, you had the Xbox for a while? Yeah, for about a year and a half, probably. What color is the HP? Gray and black? Yeah, I would say it's more gray than black. What other electronic devices do you have in the house? That's about it. All I can think of. Her phone, that's inaudible. What does Redacted have, just so we don't... The same iPhone SE. Okay, yeah. What color is hers? Hers is white. Okay. She's on her own plan. They ask him if he has his own plan. Technically, I'm not on a plan right now. I just have text now. So you're using Wi-Fi for everything? Yeah, because I don't ever go anywhere without Wi-Fi. What's your current phone number? Kline says, I honestly don't know. I literally just you don't know your own phone number. Yeah, I know it's a 310 number. It's a Los Angeles number, I'm not sure. 310, yeah, I'm not even sure. Spend time in LA too? Yeah, really? Oh yeah. How long would you do out there? Pretty much the same thing. The weed business. Yeah, yep, it's booming out there. I bet. It's crazy, yeah. Do you have any old phones or anything like that? No. What did you do with your old phone that you've turned in? I sold it on eBay. Okay, and that was a couple months ago, you said? Yeah, when I got this phone. Okay, so just an iPhone, Xbox, and then that computer. Who's your guy's internet provider? AT&T. Does she pay for that? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, she pays for everything? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to read you this. We can have consent. We can have your copy here. So we're obviously at the Peru, Indiana State Police Post, but your devices are located at this redacted. These are your rights. You have the following constitutional rights. You have the right to require that a search warrant be obtained for any search of your property. You have the right to refuse to consent to a warrantless search. You have the right to talk to a lawyer before giving consent to such a search. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed for you. The next parts, okay, if you're a juvenile, okay, your signing statement. I have read the statement of rights, understand what my rights are. I do not want a lawyer at this time. So he doesn't want a lawyer this whole time. It's kind of weird. I consent to a warrantless search by the officers of the Indiana St. Police of the following described property, which we have here: red Etsy iPhone, red with a black case, Xbox One, which is black, and the all-in-one HP computer, black and gray. I authorize these officers to seize any article of property which they consider evidence. I understand and know what I am doing. No promises or threats have been made to me. No pressure or coercion of any kind has been used against me. Appreciate that, and if you don't mind just signing, you can just sign underneath. It's okay. Thank you, sir. So you said that you were, and I'm sorry, I was writing this down. Wait a minute. When you were talking, you went from Las Vegas to L.A.? No, I never really stayed in L.A. I just would go there a lot. Okay, hold on. Let's rewind a second. So he consented to a warrantless search without even consulting a lawyer. Would a guilty person do that? I mean, I don't know. Seems kind of, I mean, the whole thing's kind of weird. I don't know what everybody makes of that. What were you doing out there? I would get our product and stuff. I would go there like almost once a week. Wait, what? He said he's going to LA once a week? That's weird. Was it your company or did you work for it? Me and my friend then moved out there. Together we started it. Bunch of inaudibles. Do you need a license? How did that work? Technically, it's under a law. You don't have to get a license inaudible under the law. If you're 18, it's gifting to someone. So you're not technically buying it from us or anything. I'm not selling it to you. You buy a monthly subscription and get that every month as a gift. That's an interesting loophole. Really? So that you don't need a license or anything. If you had to pay someone monthly, you give it to them, and because they're paying for the monthly subscription, they're paying for the service. Kline says they're not paying for the marijuana at all. Inaudible, right. Was this in LA? That was in Vegas. Okay. So after Vegas, it got too expensive out there. Where'd you go from there? I went to my mom's outside of Young America. Okay. And how long do you stay in Vegas then? From that June to I think it was been about a year or so. The next June, next August or September, she got married in September, so yeah, September. So, wow. Okay, the question here, so August, September, yeah, I came back really to marry them, and then I thought about it, and I was like, I'll just stay here. Something inaudible? Wait. You, question mark. He answers, ordained minister. Question, no kidding. Answer, yeah. Question, so you married your own mom? Kline says, yeah, right. No kidding. Yeah. Wait, so Kegan Kline is an ordained minister who married his own mother. Wow, is this case too bizarre, or is he just lying about everything? I mean, I don't know. This is kind of a weird interview. Okay, so you just stayed with them? Yeah. How did you do that? Well, what did you have to do that? My stepdad works at a hog farm, so I work with him. So you work, you can stay here, and I mean, I paid rent and stuff, and it was a pretty cool job. Okay, that's not too bad. Have you done any other weddings then since? Yeah, I've done 2 or 3 in Nevada, and then I did hers. So it's like nationwide. But since I haven't done it, yeah. So they ask him about the nation. He says, yeah, I can do it in all 50 states. Well, not Alaska. But really, when am I going to go to Alaska? Wait, so, oh man. So yeah, apparently, depending on where you get your license, they are relatively national, but, yeah, so he said, Kline is saying here, I can do it in all 50 states, not Alaska. Okay, when am I going to Alaska? Why is that? I don't know. I don't know why it is. It says right on my paperwork, though, that you can't do it in Alaska. I mean, if this guy's lying, I mean, he's making up really specific points. I'm not sure what the deal is there. Man, they spend so much time talking about this. Okay, customs, right, laws. Okay, so then you stayed with mom and inaudible, living in Young America, right outside Young America, and working for stepdad. What's his name? Redacted. Yeah, last name redacted. And then after mom's, where'd you go from there? Really, I just started living, sleeping with friends and stuff, and then staying at redacted's whenever I could. And for the past 2 years now, maybe? Well, no, I stayed with them until last August, so I stayed with them for probably about a year. And then, yeah, it was probably longer than August, sometime right before winter. Okay, 2019, yeah, 2019. And then you've been kind of staying with her and other friends and stuff in Kokomo. What other friends did you stay with? I have a friend named Redacted here that I hang out with every now and then. Okay, whole bunch of more black blocks of Redacted. No idea what they're talking about here. Okay. Are you currently working? Currently, not. No. Okay, I've been trying to. I do graphic design and stuff. Okay, so I'll just get jobs whenever I can. Okay, do a website called Fiber. I'm guessing it's supposed. Is it Fiverr? But it says Fiber in the transcript. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. I think I've heard of it. It's a computer. What do you do for graphic design? My phone. You do graphic design from a phone. Yeah. From a web, from an app on the phone. It's called Canva. You can pretty much do, like, literally anything you can think of that you can on the computer. Really? It's really nice. Huh. It's like, what's a typical project? Menus for restaurants. I do that a lot. It had to have picked up, I'm assuming, yeah, with all the COVID stuff. Yeah, definitely. But it actually slowed down a lot, too. Wait, so it picked up a lot and then also slowed down a lot. Because, a lot of places would shut down. Okay, that makes sense. Because, like, what I'd want to do is mom and pop businesses. Okay. You'd try to get somewhere, somewhere just to try to get 200, 250 from them, Inaudible. A lot of people charge $1,000, $1,000 for a website. I can do that same website for $200, Plus, you can even make their website. Yeah, definitely, yes. So not even just menus or anything. Everything, yeah. Okay, from an app. Yeah, well, the websites are done. I don't know if you know. Have you ever heard of GoDaddy.com? Okay, wow. Okay, so I'm going to skip over this. They start talking about Wi-Fi, thumb drives. Okay, so after mom's there from August to October 19, Redacted, you've been staying with her. How long have you guys been together? I mean, you said you're together or you're not? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for since like last May. Okay, yeah, so... Well, I knew her brother in high school, then we met on Facebook pretty much, just talking on Facebook, and then we hung out, and yeah, Inaudible. But I've pretty much known her family my whole life. What's her brother's name? Redacted. Same last name, Redacted. So you guys met May 18. Yeah, somewhere. Or 2 years, you said. Yeah, May 19. Okay, can this guy not remember anything? What the heck? May 2019, so yeah, okay, so I'm just trying to make sure. Bounced around tad here, but August to October, then you started staying with Redacted. Any other friends or anything like that? Not really. I mean, not for like long periods or nothing like that. Okay, then they start talking about a black Dell desktop, USB drives. Talk about him being a car guy. I'm guessing he's talking about his dad here. There's a couple of inaudibles. He works at Chrysler, so go back and forth. Just buy one car for work to drive for work. And stuff, yeah. I mean, I can't tell. Is this guy a super genius playing stupid? Or is he literally this dumb? In which case, how could he have committed this crime and gotten away with it? I mean, it's kind of hard to make heads or tails of this. What car are you driving now? A Grand Am, a 98 Grand Am. Then they ask him if he grew up working on cars. He said not really, but his dad did. Okay. They talk about how significant the charges was. Then they go back through going with the phone, the Kik Messenger. They ask him if he remembers his Kik Messenger name. He says, I don't even know. I'm not sure. I think it was my name. I think maybe a number or something. Wasn't anything else. No, I think maybe Kegan Kline one, I don't know my name, I think something. So your Kik Messenger accounts were all in your name. Yeah. You're 100% sure about that. Yeah. Okay, so did anyone else have access to the phone? No, I don't think so. I didn't have a girlfriend or no one ever uses my phone or nothing like that. Okay. So he's admitting that his accounts are in his name. Is this where they found all of this child exploitation material and what they're charging for? He used his real name on his messenger accounts? Okay, or he didn't and he's lying about that, but whatever. Then they ask him about the making fraudulent accounts. Right. What fraudulent accounts have you made? On Instagram, I would make stuff like that to try to, Yeah. And on Kick, I don't think I wouldn't send pictures of myself. But we're talking about names. I don't think so. I think it was always my name and then maybe a number, something like that. Okay, and want you to know I have these chats sitting right in front of me. Okay, so where does the name, then this name is not redacted, that they ask him about. I just made up a random name. I made it up, yeah. And I think other individuals, at least on Reddit, have said that he did not make that name up, and it's the name of a neighbor or someone he knows or something like that. Or possibly someone related to the Shots account with the last name Shots. And then they go through some of these messages. Apparently, there were images depicting Caucasian female, 13 years old. Wow, some of this stuff is really disturbing. They're talking about 5-year-olds. I actually don't even want to read this now. Now he's actually saying that maybe 15 or 14 kids had access to this account. Who had access to that device? 4 years ago, I don't think anyone, but expletive, I never, like 15, 14. Okay, so maybe he's talking about the age of people. Lot of expletives. They're asking if anybody else could have access to these devices. He's not really giving them an answer, but saying basically no. They would have to know the passcodes, etc., etc. He said he did have the friend that he lived with, and then he also stayed with his father. Then they're talking about when he moved to Las Vegas. He's also admitting here, he could have. I stayed at his house a lot. We did drugs and stuff. I wasn't saying, I have no clue. Why would I be doing that around one of my best friends? You know what I'm saying. Also with the context, who knows what the video looks like to give context to all of this stuff. But he's talking about other people that he stayed with, his ex-girlfriend. Then they reference his polygraph here. Even in your polygraph that were under 16, they deliberately asked you, what if a girl told you they were under 16? And your exact words, I would probably still talk to her. Right. So don't inaudible, but that doesn't mean, Kegan, listen, 14 and 13 does not mean a little kid that's 3 or whatever you said. Okay, so then he says that's totally different. He took your phone for this part, then you asked, do you have any 9 to 13 expletive videos? Yeah, I didn't. That is not me. Interesting. The police are saying we're not allowed to lie to you about this. Is that true? How many times do police lie during interrogations? But yeah, they're talking about some really disturbing things. Then they said you didn't have a choice. They served a warrant. So there was a previous warrant searched, but apparently here, without a lawyer, he signed for his consent to a warrantless search. Does any of this make sense to anybody? Is he a criminal mastermind genius, or does he have some kind of split personality? Because some of these things just don't add up. So then they're saying he admitted to making the account. They're also talking about a Dropbox. Kegan's saying, what do you mean I never had a Dropbox? Officer says, yes, you did. That I sent links for? What do you mean? Bud, from your Dropbox account off your phone, we have started one of the largest child pornography investigations ever undertaken in the state of Indiana. Whoa! So they're saying this is all off his phone, is initiating one of the largest investigations ever undertaken in the state of Indiana. His response, well, you're okay, but that's not me. How did that? You, a Dropbox account. It's a shared link from your Dropbox, inaudible link, right? His answer, not from mine. There's no way possible. Yes. There's no way possible. Yes. Do you have a Dropbox? Now you're saying inaudible. I have a Dropbox, not that I would send nudes and expletive through. Wow, this is really messed up. Something inaudible, say a lot of people have Dropboxes. Officer says, we start looking at those people and it just freaking spirals out of control to this major child pornography ring. Absolutely. And the other officer says, absolutely. And you even have it to the point where you're getting this, you're sharing it with your account to your Kegan Kline Dropbox account. His answer, inaudible. You can't tell me that the guy that you randomly lived with for a month knows your Dropbox password, knows your phone password. His response, inaudible, live with him for a month. And then you're also, that's your primary phone, and you don't something something. Oh, you don't know that all of this is on it. Kegan, come on. You can show me anything you want. That doesn't mean that was me doing it. It's on your device. Okay, that happened. I mean, that's probably happened to a lot of people. That doesn't mean, no, it doesn't happen. Okay, so someone shoots someone and they're with the person. That happens a lot, and they get charged for it, and they say that they killed them. That doesn't mean that they killed him. I mean, is this Kegan grasping at straws now? Yeah, that's why we asked you initially, is there anyone else that has access to your phones? And you, right, but that inaudible told me little kids an expletive. I've never done that. So you're saying, obviously, as someone, your story changes. Okay, I understand. Yeah, of course it does, because I never did expletive stuff, little kids and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff with little kids. Okay, that's not me, is what I'm saying, though. The officer says, I'm in your corner on this, but you gotta come off of it. Who else? Who else? Well, how could you be in the corner of a guy like this? This is weird. His response, that's what I'm saying. He's the only person I was around. That's what I'm saying. Okay. That would be like that. Let's go from here. So who else has access to your phones from 2016? That's it. Him, only him. Yeah, okay, that's literally it. All right. Okay, now he's saying his girlfriend, she knows my password and stuff. Wow, okay. And then he talks about the friend that he moved with to Vegas. Wow, okay. I mean, some of this is just really disturbing. Just messages from his accounts talking about any age, and then also describing certain poses and photographs. This is kind of weird, though. Okay, the officer saying, probably no pictures are embedded with GPS as well. Kegan says, if I was doing that, I wouldn't not have VPN blockers and stuff like that. You know what I mean. Officer says, well, I'm telling you right now that it's connected to the house that you lived at with your dad. Right. Not in Vegas with Redacted's name. Right. And you just said Redacted wasn't there. Kegan says, I mean, Redacted has been to my dad's house. He hasn't stayed in my house. He's been there, right? Redacted line. Okay, inaudible. These are hour-long conversations, right? Kegan, his answer, okay, but if you're on drugs, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying we used to take drugs a lot together. What type of drugs? I mean, hard drugs where, like what? You're going to pass out PCP, LSD, a lot of, mushrooms. So you've done it, you did that all the time or sometimes. Kegan says, I mean a lot, yeah. Are you still, when was the last time you used? Oh, forever. I mean, I haven't like hard drugs. I mean, any drugs. I mean, I smoke marijuana. Still, other than that, yeah, but other than that, nothing. Is there any narcotics or drugs in the house at all? No. Or in the apartment? No, there's a bong. There's a bong, though. Again, I mean, you're literally going to have to do some more convincing than that a friend who randomly comes over and you guys get high is taking your phone. No, I totally get where you're coming from. I don't think you do. I totally do like that, because I'm telling you right now, honestly sounds really stupid. I get what you're saying. You're a bright guy, dude. There's no doubt. I would say most of the time you're probably the smartest guy in the room. That's an interesting thing to say to Kline. Okay, there's the other officer says, what? There's 2 other iPhones. They're both white. Whose are those? Where at? In the apartment. There's no other. Oh, actually, she does have another phone. Yeah, she does have 2 phones in Audible. Why does she have 2 phones? She needed to get her service switched over through Boost Mobile, and she never did. I bought her that new phone, and she just never did. How did you buy her a phone you're not working? Well, I mean, I make money through, all you need to do is one job. I mean, I can make $1,000 easily. You said you charge $200. Yeah, but I mean, that's just for a menu, But I mean, if I make a website, I can do the work for people, make videos, all kinds of stuff for them. Well, and again, I don't see it, and I'm telling you right now that on each and every one of these devices that have your names on them, they're not once time a friend comes over and uses it, another redacted line. Right, where does redacted live now? In Vegas somewhere, I'm guessing. You ever talk to him? No, we had a fallout. Over what? Money, pretty much. Him trying to take all the money we had. To do what? What was he probably gonna do? I don't know. Probably creating a nest egg. Probably move. I don't know. You still inaudible from when you left? Yeah. Okay, bunch of inaudibles. He was a good dad, really. And how old was he? He was close to 30, probably 29, so he's probably 31 or so now. Okay, right now we can come back to the iPhone. There's a lot there, but I mean, you understand the stuff on the devices that we have here again is, I mean, we're clear that it's not your friend who's occasionally coming over. We'll go back to the Apple iPhone 3. This phone was named Keggy. Is your nickname. You would have been 20 at the time. iPhone 3? There's no way I would have been 20 at the time. How old were you in... I mean, I had that phone when I was in high school. So how old are you now? I'm 26. So 5 years ago, no. Would have been what? There's no way. I'm telling you right now that the last time the device was used was 5 years ago. It was used up until 2015. Yeah, so, well, you can say what you want, but that's not the truth. So, I mean, he seems to be standing his ground here. So it's like, I don't know what to make. I really don't know what to make of this so-called interview. I mean, they go on and on about reasons to lie. Are you lying? You lied to the investigators 3 years ago. You're lying. And at this point, he's stating, well, oh my God, okay, I have no, all right, whatever, I need a lawyer. So at this point in the interview, I mean, we don't have the video, so we don't know how long this interview lasted, but I mean, we're getting really far into the interview here. He's saying I need a lawyer, which is curious. Because I have no clue what this is ridiculous, because I do not have any images or videos of children at all. I'm telling you that right expletive now. There's no way. If I shared a Dropbox, and you know how Dropbox works, obviously you're a smart guy, but if someone sends it to me, the sender have some... Are we going to clear this up, or what do you mean? Because if you're going to keep talking, yeah, lawyer, yeah. You don't want to clear any of this up. No, if you're telling me all this, no, I do not. I don't want to talk to you anymore. So, I don't know, do we believe Kegan Kline here? Because it seems like at this point, he's getting the impression that they're trying to blame other stuff from other Dropboxes on him that he does not believe he is responsible for in any way. And does he believe at this point that the investigators are lying to him and trying to pin this all on him? And again, he seems to admit that he admitted to certain things years prior, but not this particular issue. You might need to hear it. He responds, I really don't, because I've heard enough that's expletive, so I don't need to hear any of it. You understand the charges? You're going to jail right now. Yep. Okay. A lifeline is here. He responds, yeah, but when you guys are here telling me that I'm lying to you and I'm not. Well, I'm going to tell you. Then he says, I have no reason to lie to you. That's why I have no reason to lie to you. If you watch the videos in Audible. Officer says, you can let us go through it all and explain it to you so at least you understand you have the opportunity. He has 45 years in Indiana. Right. That's not counting. There's 30 counts total. Right. So do you want to go through with this and get charged with and take all of this because you're getting charged with this? All of this is being put on you, and if you don't want to hear everything, that's your answer. So can I sit in silence and not say anything? If you want to keep talking to us, yeah. Okay. You want to keep talking to us? Yeah, yep. Okay, again, I have no reason to lie to you. This is what the officer said. I understand. I'm sorry for acting the way I do, but I mean, that's what inaudible. We need an answer for this. Because it's either inaudible, it's all you, or it's you and someone else. Right. Or and really. Okay. Inaudible. I wasn't here. And then, so Kegan's stating here about killing 2 girls, what they said to me. They tried to say that I failed a polygraph and that I did it. Me or my dad. So you do understand how I kind of have a like of presence where like, wow, these guys are expletive artists. You get where I'm coming from. So Kegan is saying that these other officers were trying to pin these two murders on him for. Wow, this is crazy. I don't know. It's kind of hard to get a handle on Kegan and whether he's a master manipulator or he's a dumb guy that is also a liar or he's a dumb guy that's telling the truth. So now they talk about multiple devices again. More really hard to read descriptions of the videos. They asked him if he shared some of these. He says, no, never. We never talked about anything like that. So then they just continue going over. Every time he came over, you guys got high and he took your phone. No, that's not what I'm saying. I don't ever remember him having my phone. But if I'm passed out, you know what I mean? I don't know what someone's done. So is this his defense here, or is he kind of just grasping at straws because of all this? He just really feels like these people are trying to frame him. I'm not going to go into the exact details of the explanations of the videos and conversations here. These are just really disturbing. But, I mean, you can imagine. It's just really... I mean, the language here in use with minors is just obviously criminal, which is why they're after him. But it seems... I mean, it's unclear exactly to what extent they truly believe he's guilty. Obviously, he's guilty of a ton of this, but are they also trying to pin things in addition to what they know he's guilty of that they're not sure he's guilty of? Or possibly even suspecting that he's not guilty, but they're just trying to get him for everything. Obviously, some police officers tend to do that. Then they ask him about Skype and video chats. He said, why would I video chat with someone if you know what I mean? I'm obviously not that person. So I guess they're talking about his fake accounts, etc., etc. And again, I'm not going to go into all the descriptions here. Then they start, again, making descriptions of 3 to 5-year-olds. His answer is, can I not hear this? And they're saying, I mean, this is on your phone again. This is on your phone. Inaudible answer, you're being charged with. His answer, I understand, but I mean, I don't want to hear that. Again, this is what you're being charged with. I understand, but I mean, I would rather not hear about that. You know what I mean? So it's unclear here whether he would rather not hear about it because he knows he did it or because he didn't do it. And that truly does disgust him in that age range, but apparently not in the, 14 to whatever age range, still minors. But it's unclear here. Is he being truthful about that? But... again, I don't want to go through these descriptions, and then they start talking about a rental car in Vegas. I'm assuming they tracked the GPS and everything on the phone, so interesting. More descriptions here. I'm not going to go through these. So now they're talking about when they polygraphed him. So when you're done with the polygraph and you went home, you were done with the polygraph at 7:30, okay, went back home at 9:19, you found the phone, right? Right. You found they had left the phone. Yeah, where'd you find it? It was in the kitchen somewhere. Okay, it was on top of the microwave, I think. On top of the microwave, yeah, what? Then what did you do? What do you mean? What did you do after you found your phone? I think, pretty sure I had my dad call the State Department, or maybe I did, inaudible. When did he do that? I think it was the next day, maybe. And I discussed this on previous episodes as well. Some people in the comment section were saying the police left the phone there as kind of a plant to see what he would do with it. And here he is being honest and just saying, oh, you forgot a phone. I mean, it is kind of, that whole phone situation is pretty weird. And then apparently they asked him, you went home, you uninstalled Snapchat, deleted it from the phone. Right after you uninstalled Instagram and deleted it from the phone. Then on the next day, the 26th, you uninstalled and deleted Meet Me from the phone. I'm assuming that's another app. I've never even heard of that app. Did he use that? That hasn't been discussed yet. Okay, right. And then they questioned him. You installed Snapchat again to make sure it got deleted. Everything got deleted. Then you deleted it and uninstalled it again. And then it wasn't until 2 days later you called the state police and said, oh, hey, by the way. Well, I wasn't making sure it was deleted. I deleted the accounts. I deleted the Meet Me. I deleted all the accounts. Why'd you delete that? Answer, because, like you said, it was the most real wake-up call I ever had in my life. So, I mean, went home and deleted it. I deleted the Meet Me everything. Okay, and when you also knew the contents of everything on there would be removed as well? Well, I guess, yeah, I mean, I didn't know that, but... So wait, is he denying? Okay, so he's denying that he deleted everything on the phone. He's saying only deleted certain apps. And here he's saying they asked him, you admitted to talking to girls that were underage. He says yes. Snapchat and Instagram, right? And all of the other inaudible. That was, okay, getting rid of all the accounts before you turned it into law enforcement. No, not really, because honestly, yeah, honestly, that's what happened. I'm telling you, the officer's telling him this. Honestly, no, it was I did it, and then I thought about it, and I was like, if they know I have another phone, that's going to look real bad on me. Okay, then he said something inaudible. All right, so some weird timelines with deleting all the stuff on the phone, then turning it back in. Here's another statement regarding the younger children. He says, I mean, like the girls I would talk to, 13 to whatever, yeah. I would talk to them, but yeah, none of the little kid stuff or any of the Dropbox or no, I had no clue any of that was on my phone, and I have no knowledge of ever sending Dropbox to anyone. So again, he's being interviewed here without a lawyer. So make of that what you will. He's signing for warrantless searches, and he's saying he has no clue about anything about all of the much younger kids they're telling him about. And then they go around and around regarding that. They also keep talking about the guy that supposedly was present at his house and whether or not he accesses stuff that Kline said he might have been passed out. So when he's passed out, he can't really say what other people are doing with his devices. They're talking about an 18-year-old now sending him nude photos. Then they ask him if he's been to a brothel. So you go to the brothel, mostly tell him. I'm guessing they have his movements here. You go to the bunny ranch, right, with your dad. And he answers, well, I'm not watching my dad expletive someone. What do you mean? That's like a professional place. So I guess he's not admitting to going there with his dad. Okay, what about redacted? Yeah, of course. So your friends, I mean, just your dad, just have that. Yeah, that's weird. I wouldn't do it with my dad. No, that's weird. Then he asks him if he's going, you guys are going to strip clubs together. It's unclear whether they're referring to him and his dad or him and the redacted friend, but I guess the officers are insinuating that it's him and his dad. Then they're asking why would some of his dad's account information be on the same phones? His response is, 'cause Chrysler. I have to do his Upwork and stuff like that. There's a bunch of stuff that he had to fill out for Chrysler and stuff. He's not good with inaudible. So is he saying his dad is not good with computers and that he had to do his work stuff for him on his phones and that's why his dad's info is also on the phones? Wow, okay. Did your dad have access to your phones and use them? No, I mean, like, here's my phone. It's not like he would be like, take my phone and never use it. Right. So similar to what you would do with redacted, you'd say here. Yeah, right. Okay. If they needed to call someone, I would give them my phone, I mean. Okay. But then they ask if his dad would be allowed to do that. And he said, talking like hours at a time. No, my dad wouldn't even be allowed to do that. I wouldn't let my dad have my phone for long periods of time or nothing like that. I have to do my dad's work on his computer or on my phone on his thing, you know what I mean? Like, you have my email, you can search uplink on Kegan Kline Hotmail right now and see all that. It's Chrysler stuff. I mean, does it sound like he's really trying to be helpful? I mean, he's admitting certain things relatively openly. I don't know. This is all very, very weird. So they're asking, so will you give a friend complete 110% access to your phone and your accounts? No. Okay, so it looks like they're trying to trip him up because they're saying, oh, you just said you would do that. Then he said, I never said that, because then they asked if he would let a friend use his phone. Obviously, that's not the same thing as giving them full access. They ask if anybody knows his passcode. Does your dad know your passcode? No. Because again, this doesn't make sense to me. So a friend that you have, you'll give him your passcode, which contains, full access to your phone. Right. So I guess he did say his friend had his passcode. I mean, this is all weird. He also says, I let redacted use my phone for Amazon. Okay. Then they're asking, okay, so you would let a friend complete access, but not your dad. His answer is, I mean, it's my dad. I don't know. What do you mean? He answers something inaudible, saying exact what you said, like there's stuff on there that I would never want my dad to see. So I guess he's thinking he's referring, I guess he's referring to the older teens or whatever here, because that's what he admitted. What do you mean you had a bad relationship with your dad in the past? Well, like, we always get in arguments and stuff growing up and stuff, but about what? My dad is like, he has a real short temper, so he would always freak out on me, literally anything, like literally anything. Give me an example so I can understand better. Like I slammed his door too hard on his truck. His truck door. Oh, yeah. So I'm mowing the lawn and I accidentally have it pointed towards his vehicle or something. Like the blower or whatever, rock or something, grass. Well, little things like that don't even matter. He would just inaudible. What would his reaction be? He'd just yell at me and stuff, And then what would you do? We'd be in that whole, like, for a day, we'd be like, I don't want to talk to him type argument. Then the officer switches to what's on the phone. You're still not understanding. There has to be more than that you wouldn't let him have. His answer, like you said, there's pictures and stuff on my phone. I would never want my dad to come across any of that ever in my life. Then they ask about redacted to come across such things. I don't know if this is his girlfriend or his friend here because the name is redacted here. No, but I would much rather it be someone like that than my dad. You know what I mean? Okay, so they just go on and on. He says also, after this, he'll never talk to me again. Then the officer asks, he obviously knew in 2017. Kegan says, no, he didn't. I never told him. They said, no, but we did. And he says, oh, you did? Yeah. You talked to him and everything. Well, we, not as in us, but law enforcement did. And they even told you that. Before you left for your polygraph, she told you, hey, just to let you know, we told your dad all of this. He answers, I don't remember her saying that. Again, is this just a case of Kegan Kline just being a pathological liar and lying about everything? Or is he being honest about everything? Or is he being honest about certain things, not other things? Is he a criminal mastermind genius? Or is he just that stupid? It's kind of hard to make heads or tails here. Or if he's done that much drugs, as he says. Do we even know if that's true? Has anyone corroborated any of this hard drug use that he's claiming and being passed out and all that? Has that left his brain fried where he himself doesn't even know what's true and what's not true? They asked him when the last time he talked to his dad. He said, this morning. He came to my apartment this morning. How often would you say you see him? Oh, every few weeks. Okay. He says he also never brought that stuff up. He says, if you were in my shoes, okay, imagine you get home from Las Vegas, you're on a trip, everything's went, you get home and you look outside and you see SWAT everywhere, police coming up with guns and stuff. So the other thing that doesn't kind of make sense, so they were tracking him this whole time, so they knew when he was going to come home for this SWAT operation. Then they asked, how was your Vegas trip? He answers, it was great. The officer says, drunk fest, and inaudible. He says, yeah, no, I'm not really a big drinker because I have seizures and stuff, so I don't like drinking a lot, but, it was fun, it was super cool, and you know what I mean, and then I get taken down there. They tell me I killed 2 people. I failed the polygraph because I'm freaking out, and you know what I mean? I already have anxiety like crazy. Why does he have anxiety like crazy? Then they're talking about traumatic situations and how difficult things are to remember, etc., etc. They ask him if he forgot about certain things because of the trauma. Then he said, no, I don't, honestly. I don't remember viewing anything of anyone younger than 13, probably. He also says I couldn't tell you one name of anyone that I talked to. Did you know any of the people that you talked to? No, I don't think so. Then they're asking everyone you spoke to, all these girls that were younger than 18, you met them all on Meet Me. Yeah. What about Instagram, Facebook? His answer, I don't remember ever really talking to anyone on Instagram, but I could have. But it was all mostly on Meet Me. Is it obvious that he's blatantly lying about all this at this point? Because apparently they do have those Instagram messages, unless we are to believe that he just created the account and then other people used them. I mean, is it possible, if this is a ring involved, that they kind of just hired him as the tech guy and he set up these accounts and then he barely used them and mostly just used this Meet Me account, which I haven't even heard discussed until this? Then the officer says, I know last year the video, and I know you said that if you had met someone on Instagram or something, you would kick them to Snapchat. His response, I don't even know. Yeah, I mean, that probably sounds right, though. Huh. Okay, this is getting kind of weird. The officer says, you did tell him that you did know a couple of the girls in real life, they just didn't know who you were. You actually tell him that in the interview. His response, yeah, I don't remember any of the girls. Officer says, but you said there were some people that you legitimately knew. His response, right. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't know. I'm sure there was. I don't remember, though. I mean, there were so many people that I talked to. I don't remember anyone in person, though, ever. Maybe people that I knew or something, maybe. I don't know. Wow. Then they ask, he said he went to school with one of them. He says, yeah. Okay, whatever, yeah. Okay, so this is just more of the same. I mean, this is just a lot of scrambling. It looks like they're just trying to get him to trip up, like asking tricky questions, going back and forth. I mean, it's really rough. I mean, they go through personal details of like what's his normal day like, what time he usually gets up, what's going on in Vegas. I mean, I don't know how much of this is I mean, I just really don't know how much of this could be honest or not honest, because at times he appears honest, at other times, I mean, can he generally not remember? Again, if he's done all this hard drugs, I mean, does he himself not even remember what he did, who he talked to? And I mean, you would think that a traumatic, like if he was actually responsible for murder or something like that, I mean, it seems unlikely that he would forget that. I mean, it's just weird, unless his drug use is so severe. They bring up all these messages. He said he doesn't remember these, like text messages using the Anthony Shots account. Then they're saying here, okay, so this is page 136 now. Well, they talk about him lying to them a whole bunch. What's a fact? Who remembers what? Okay. Then they throw this out there. So just like talking to Liberty German is a fact. He says, right. Officer says, okay, Anthony Shots communicated with Liberty German, and it's a fact that it wasn't just for a few hours at a sleepover. In your own admission that you said in the interview, it is a fact on audio recorded and video recorded interview, you said, well, we never sent any pictures, and then the very next couple sentences you said, well, I knew they were at a sleepover because they sent pictures to me. His response is, yeah, she didn't. Her friend did. Right. So you knew they were there. I mean, you had said that she had sent a picture. I remember this specifically, inaudible. Again, that's a fact. I'm not trying to catch you. That's a fact. He responds, right. Officer says, okay, just like it's a fact that you were communicating to her multiple days at a time, just like the other girls that you were talking to, including up to the day that she went missing right before. And what I want to know is, you would communicate with her on what? The iPhone 5 was your primary device? Yeah. That's a fact. Okay, what other devices would you communicate with her on? I don't know. I have no clue of even talking to... And then he gets interrupted. What other devices would you communicate with anybody else on that time? The iPhone. Yeah. Officer says this. Okay, well, on February 13th, this would have been logged in a little bit earlier, so that would have been 8 o'clock in the morning at your house. Redacted, okay, where you and your dad lived. 2 separate devices. See the numbers here, how they're the same? Log in, log out, log in, log out. 1 device. Log in, log out, all within minutes of each other, to the same Anthony Shot Snapchat account. What 2 devices were these? This is a fact. So they're saying that 2 different devices at his house both logged in and out of the Anthony Shots account. Interesting. Is it possible? I mean, is it beyond the realm of possibility that him and his father are both using the Anthony Shots account, but he doesn't know that his father is using it? He responds, yeah, I don't, inaudible. It had to be the Samsung Galaxy then or something. They're asking him, this is the exact same snap, this is the Anthony Shots account. Yeah, but I'm saying, then they're asking two different devices. And he answers mine and then using another phone at the same time. Talking, you know what I mean. Yeah, but why would you do that? I mean to talk to more girls. So he's saying he's using two different devices at the same exact time. That's weird. So he's logging in and out on two different devices. They're just going around in circles with this. I mean, I don't know. I guess that's kind of weird. Okay. Then he said one of them had a cracked screen real bad because I sat on it. Okay. That's weird, though, because if that one's busted, why would he... I mean, I don't know. Okay. So then the officer says, okay, another fact then. You said I did not talk to anyone about them missing. About the girls being missing. His response, right. Questioning him, okay, Snapchat return. You had talked to one of her friends who had said to you... He asked, who was I talking to? That you were talking to the whole time. That's who I remember. Yes, correct. They don't say a name here, though. Right. Question, she said, did you hear about Liberty? You respond on Anthony Shots, OMG, what happened? That's talking to someone about the two girls that were missing and then wound up dead. His response here, right, I guess you're right, yeah. So he seems to be really nonchalant about being caught in these lies as well. I mean, but then he admitted it in this instance, but then in other... I mean, it's kind of weird. Like, it's really kind of weird to get his benchmarks because he's admitting that he lied here, but in other cases he's not. I mean, this is just really weird. Okay, the law enforcement questioning continues. Okay, same person or the girl that you were talking to says that Anthony Shots was meeting up with Liberty German. Wait a second. The same person or the girl that you were talking to says that Anthony Shots was meeting up with Liberty German. They say that's the facts. And he responds here, that's a total lie, a total lie. That's a total expletive lie. Wow, okay. It's not, and then they're saying it's a fact. He says it's not a fact. Officer says, same conversation of the OMG what happened. Anthony Schott says, yeah, we were supposed to meet, but she never showed up. Wow, I mean, this is quite mind-shocking if this is true, if these are not the officers lying to him, and even if it is true, is someone else using his account? But he's saying he did use the account with both phones. I mean, unless, again, his father used it without his knowledge. He responds here, that's an expletive lie, that's a damn lie. And then the officer says, how do you know, how can you? He responds, because I know for a fact I did not ever talk to. They interrupt him, so how do you know? No, hang on, because you don't know a lot of things about all this stuff, but all of a sudden you know for 100% fact. And he responds, because I didn't expletive murder someone, yeah, so I know. Then they go back and forth with him, who and what is, who is implying what and how. The officer said, okay, interesting here. The officer saying, now listen to me, I can honestly sit here and I'm telling you, I do not believe that you killed Liberty or Inaudible. He responds, okay, thank you. Officer says, I can tell that to you right now. He responds, thank you. Okay. And then the officer says, but you need to tell me who was logging into these accounts. And he says, like I told you before, I do not know. I told you I logged in from two different phones. I had two different phones. So who was talking to the other girl that you were supposed to meet, Libby? I don't remember ever saying that. Now you don't remember again. Is it possible? I mean, yeah, who else was there? If his father wasn't there, someone else was there at the house? I mean, what are the options here? The officer says here, you remember certain things, and then certain things you don't remember. It's awfully convenient, Kegan. It's really convenient. Then they ask him about a different redacted. He said he went to school with him, and that he was friends with his sister. Who's that redacted? Did you date her? No, I was really good friends with her, though. Okay, a whole bunch of other redacted, stepmoms, cousins, little sisters, brothers, bunch of redacteds. So, wow. Okay, so it looks like they're just fishing for who else could it have been at his house. And who was talking to the Anthony Shots account. The officer says, and so they're talking about redacted. Oh, and he admits this. Wow, okay. So the officer says, so a person associated with that family of redacted, who they were talking to, directly associated with that family, was talking to Anthony Shots. His response, right, probably redacted, had to be. That's weird, because before he's saying he didn't know the people he was talking to. Now all of a sudden he's saying probably redacted had to be. Officer says, and was looking to hook up with Anthony Shots, so she gives an address to Anthony Shots because she's coming home after school and she wants to hook up because her parents are not home after school for a couple of hours. Kegan says, who's that, redacted? Response, someone associated with the redacted family. Okay. This girl associated with the redacted family gets off the school bus and there's a guy with a ski mask peering in her bedroom window. Wow. Kegan says, okay, so you're trying to say that's me or something. Officer says, no, I'm not saying it's you. I'm just saying there's another coincidence that we have a girl talking to the Anthony Shots account and then she gives an address to Anthony Shots because she wants to hook up with him. Kegan responds, see, I don't even remember her ever giving me an address. Officer says, she did, and she did in fact, and there was actually a police report filed because she comes from school, sees this guy with a ski mask looking in her bedroom window directly after giving this address to Anthony Shots. As a matter of fact, that's the incident that started everything last time. That's how everything started last time, was that incident. Kegan's response, that's crazy. Wow. Okay, now they're saying, on top of that, you searched about the redacted on February 19th, 2017. What do you mean I searched? Officer says, the day before that happened, your phone shows that you searched the redacted family. What do you mean? Officer says, I'm telling you, your phone searched. Kegan asks, like on Facebook or something? Officer says, uh-huh. Right, okay, another coincidence. The officer asks. Kegan responds, yeah, I see what you're trying to put together, but I swear to God I was not looking in someone's expletive. I guess he's about to say house, and the officer says, we didn't say that. Kegan says, will you stop? You are implying that I know what you're trying to do, but I'm telling you I was never in a ski mask looking in her expletive house. No. Officer says, inaudible. He responds, I've known them. I could literally call Redacted's dad right now and go over there. And the officer says, but they do not know you're Anthony Shots. Kegan responds, exactly, but I'm saying if I wanted to get her or whatever, I would expletive just go over there. The officer says, but she wouldn't give it to Kegan. But she would give it to, I guess he's about to say the Anthony Shots account. Kegan responds, she would though. She told me before that she liked me. That's the whole reason why I would try to talk to her, because I knew she liked me. That doesn't mean I'm in a ski mask at her expletive house. Officer responds, inaudible, and then I see what you're so concerned about. What were you so concerned about when you're in Vegas, or let's even go before you were in Vegas, about being somehow connected to Liberty German? He responds, because I talked to her friend on the phone. Then they're talking about the searches and how he was very concerned. Kegan responded, yeah, I'm concerned. What do you mean someone gets killed around us? I'm concerned, yes. Do you know that when you gave your polygraph, you said Liberty, like, what's her name? I don't remember her name. And then after you spent all that time reading over it. Kegan responds, because my brain is going crazy. What do you mean? Officer says, what I mean is there's no way you didn't know what her name was. And you sitting there, inaudible, that Liberty whatever her name is, inaudible, your polygraph. Kegan responds, I don't remember that. Officer says, and before the polygraph, you're looking up articles about it. Even before you guys went to Vegas. You guys are, foul play suspected, inaudible. He responds a bunch of more inaudibles, then he responds, that's crazy. He's saying it would make sense that I would because it's in my community. Inaudible, then the officer says, it makes sense for us to question you about looking that up when you're one of the last people to ever speak to her before she wound up dead. Or, excuse me, Anthony Schatz was one of the last, the Anthony Schatz account. Interesting, because is this a Freudian slip by the police officer? Because he's saying they don't believe that he did it. Are they saying, how do they know definitive? If they believe someone else is using his phone, how do they believe all of this definitively on who's using the phone when then? This is all very, very strange. Interesting. So then the officer mentions this internet server, the murder of JonBenet Ramsey, O.J. Simpson after that. Why that? Kegan responds, those are unsolved cases. What do you mean? The officer says, how'd you know? I mean, and then Kegan responds, how do I know they're the most popular? No, I'm saying, how do you know this case was going to be unsolved? Because this was a few days. He responds, because they put out the pictures of him. They put out a picture of him on the bridge and a voice. Not right away, they didn't. Wait, what's going on here? Wait, this is weird. I guess the officers let him roll with that? Yes, he responds, Kegan says, yeah, someone murdered someone and they have pictures of them or their voice. I'm going to look to see if I know that person. Like, why? What do you mean? The guy's on there telling everyone, the state guy or the state police department guy's on there telling everyone, if you know anyone that looks like this or anything, call in. The officer says, what we want to know is who had access to the Anthony Schatz account. He responds, me. The other officer asks, on 2 different devices, yes. At the same time, yeah. So if you are the sole owner of that account, the only one that had access to it, Kegan says, I mean, on those days, that just looks like me logging into one of my phones. I was logged in on that phone. I logged out, logged in on my other phone. That's what that looks like. So he's admitting to using 2 phones and having 2 phones here. So you were the one that sent pictures to her. And then he says, I mean, if I have to question the sleepover, you're the one that talked to her all that weekend. So I'm guessing they're insinuating these are multiple conversations. And you're the one that talked to her, one of the last people to talk to her before she was murdered. That's what you're telling me. Kegan's response is, I guess. Yeah, I mean, right. Then he's saying that's not the only girl he talked to. Okay. They just go back and forth with just how it looks. Officer asks, all right, your current girlfriend, is friends on Facebook with one of Liberty's ex-boyfriends. One of Liberty's ex-boyfriends? So Liberty had multiple ex-boyfriends? Small town USA, right? So there's still stuff that you know that maybe like if we were in Chicago or something, you'd look at and okay, that it's right, okay. Then small town USA, you know the redacteds. Right. Okay, so there's a sleepover at a redacted residence, and that's, the whole thing with Liberty when she was speaking to Anthony Schatz. They were at the redacteds, and here we are, they're at the redacteds, and this is the redacteds family, the family of the redacted. Oh, wow. Okay. Then they ask him, okay, so they think Anthony Schatz is this rich, hot guy, like she's completely in love with Anthony Schatz. Kegan responds, right. Officer says, so this account that you set up, and I'm sure that you've seen our social media had said something like, waiting for Peter Pan to come, and it was like almost like a little hanging fruit statement for someone that would target girls. You probably see that and think this is going to be an easy target. Kegan responds, I don't get what you mean. Officer says, what more of a targeting thing, right? Like a more, maybe you didn't go into that depth. I don't know how much depth you went into looking for girls you wanted to get nude images from as Anthony Schatz. Inaudible, just like buckshot method and see who comes back. But regardless, she bought the story. She bought the account. So we have a friend saying that she knew that she was trying to meet up with Anthony Schatz. Kegan says, see, I don't remember ever saying to meet up with me, though. Officer says, okay, but I'm telling you, this is what we had. He responds, right, yeah, inaudible. Officer says, we have that. Right, we have that, right. We have multiple device logins from your house. Right. Officer says, redacted for a Snapchat account within minutes of one another. Right. Officer says, okay, we have the day that you gave your polygraph and your interview. You were steadfast. I met them in the beginning of February, like the 1st or 2nd. You were steadfast. You never came off that. I never spoke to her beyond February 1st or 2nd. And the guy says, look, we know you spoke to her the day she was murdered. The day she was murdered? You said absolutely not. I blocked her. She was annoying me after the 1st or 2nd, right? We have these images. You saying that's not you. What you inaudible, that's a nude. What are you for? We have these grooming pictures. We have the money, the Anthony Shots money account going to her. What money? Right? So it starts to stack after a while. I mean, small town USA, independent of each other. I don't know if they're using money as in we have the money, as if like we have the evidence. He just responds, right. Officer says, yeah, but then it starts to stack, right? We have the Kik Messenger messages with all of these my daddy references. Right. With regardless of what you say, there are two different authors of those images. Regardless of what you say, right? They're not both you. They're both your devices, but the phrasing's different. It changes. It is not the same person. So we know we have multiple account logins with Snapchat. We have two different people using Kik Messenger talking to people from your residence. I mean, all that's 100% sure. We know it. We know it for a fact. So remove yourself from it, inaudible BS, and trying to pick out every individual piece, it starts to stack. It just keeps stacking. The phone, your phone that you had, all your search history was deleted from February 10th to 15th. There's nothing in between. So now what's interesting about that is all those other phones have complete histories. Nothing's gone. He answers, okay. Officer continues, so during the time frame where this grooming would have been built up to meeting, it's gone. It's wiped away from your phone. But your other devices are complete. So now it all starts to stack. The complexity of your Anthony Shots persona. The cars, the influence of Lamborghinis, Ferraris. He just responds, yeah. Officer says, it's not you. It's not your idea. You and I both know it's not your idea. He responds. Kegan says, what do you mean? That's not my idea to take pictures of money and stuff and send them to people? Officer says, the complexity of it, okay, it's not just you. Kegan states, I don't know. Officer asks, is it? Kegan responds, I mean, like I said, the only other person that had access to my phone is him. That's literally it. I don't know if him is his redacted friend or his dad here. I don't know. Not at this time. I promise you, not any time. Not in Vegas. Right, not in Vegas. When you're searching nonstop about the Delphi investigation when you're supposed to be on a vacation, when you're still actually sending Snapchats to Liberty when you know she's dead. Wait, what? Kegan says, I don't ever remember doing that. The officer says, well, I'm telling you you did. That's a fact. He responds, inaudible. Kegan says, like, that could be me sending the messages to a ton of people. Like on Snapchat, I would do that all the time, send them to 40, 50 people. Is that like a group message type thing? I don't know. I don't use any of those apps. Can you send a group message to 40, 50 people at a time? So he just forgot to remove her from like a giant list or something? Okay. He says, I literally have no clue. Then they ask him, let me ask you, why would you, after you failed the polygraph about knowing about Delphi investigation, come home, delete your Snapchat and your Instagram, which you used to communicate with Libby, and then you searched how long does DNA last? Why would you do that? Okay, this is really weird. So he claimed to have not known about the Delphi. So is he just dumb? Is he dumb, and did he really commit this crime? Because he's also talking here without a lawyer this whole time. He consented to a warrantless search, and then he went into a polygraph and knowingly lied, supposedly, about not knowing about the Delphi investigation. Now he admitted that he did know about it here, and he knew who Liberty German was. Okay, so the officers asked him the question. He searched, how long does DNA last? Why would you do that? Kegan responds, I have no clue. I don't know. Probably because they DNA tested me. Officer says, right. Kegan said, so they obviously have DNA on that body, because why else would they DNA test me? Officer says, so why would you worry about your DNA being on that body? Kegan answers, I wouldn't. Officer asks, then why'd you search? Kegan responds, inaudible, common question. That's just a common thing to freak out about, like why, you know what I mean? Officer asks, no, I don't, because you're giving DNA. Kegan responds, right, so you obviously know I didn't do it. The officer asks, right. Kegan says, yeah. Officer asks, right, but then you're starting to think inaudible. Bunch more inaudibles. Are they thinking that he thinks it's his father, so he's kind of searching that because of his father or his friend? Huh. Why would you care how long DNA lasts? What if it lasts 100 years? Why would it matter to you? If it was on the body, then it would matter, right? But you know 110% your DNA wouldn't be there, right? Kegan responds, right. So why would it matter how long it lasts? Kegan responds, because I wondered if the person had DNA on their body, if they actually knew who the person was. Officer says, that doesn't make sense. Kegan asks, how doesn't it? The officer says, because it doesn't. It doesn't. Kegan responds, because in my mind, I'm thinking these people think I killed someone, so if they actually have DNA on the body, they're going to know that I didn't do it. But if there's no DNA on the body, then it's obvious that, like, okay, that's weird. Actually, that kind of does make sense, because if the DNA doesn't last very long, then they wouldn't be able to rule him out, and they would continue bothering him. So I guess that kind of makes sense. Then they talk about the whole thing stacking. Kegan responds, I literally have no clue how that girl died. I don't know anything to do with it. Yeah, that is a weird-ass coincidence that I happened to talk to her. Like, I get that. Officer asks, and then we go again. Something else that stacks on top of this is when you talk to investigators. I mean, this is fresh in your mind. You just got back from Vegas. You've been nonstop searching this stuff. You've been talking about it with other girls that knew Libby. You have been searching it before you went to Vegas. And then you tell investigators, I was with my dad all day. We went to Grandma and Grandpa's at noon. Kegan responds, no, I told them I didn't know. What? I mean, I don't ever leave. So, like, yeah, I'm probably out at his house, really. But I mean, I don't remember everything I did. And they're just reminding him of what he said in the interview. You said either 12 or 2 or 12 to 3, then you came back home. That's what you said. Right. That's not a I don't remember. That's a what you said, right? Kegan responds, no, because he was like, hey, you really need to think about this. Then the officer says, your phone does not line up to that. And again, that's another fact. I don't have to remember it. Kegan says, okay, where was my phone at? Please tell me. Officer says, it was at your residence. Kegan responds, redacted all day because I don't ever leave there. Until when? Officer, you went somewhere near your grandparents' house, but you did not go to your grandparents' house. Interesting. So the officers are stating that, I guess by his GPS phone tracking or whatever, that he didn't actually go to his grandparents' house. Kegan responds, redacted. Redacted's house. That's the only other place I go. He sold me weed. That's literally the only place I go. So why lie? Inaudible. Several times. Kegan responds, I don't. I didn't think I ever lied, but I'm saying if I left my house on that day, it was to my grandparents or to Redacted's. I mean, this guy's faulty memory is just so faulty. Officer said, you said in an interview, audio recorded to 2 law enforcement officers, including an FBI agent. Right. You said I was here at home from this time to this time, and then I went to my grandparents, and then we went right back home, and I was with my dad the entire time. Done. That's what you said. Wow. Then Kegan throws this at the officer. Where were you last Monday at 7:45 p.m.? So Kegan, I mean, is someone who's really intimidated, would they be throwing that question at an officer? I mean, he can't be that intimidated if he's throwing this in the face of the officer. Interesting. What does that mean? The officer responds, probably at home, but a gay. And then Kegan says, okay, I was probably at home. Then he asks again, okay, where were you Monday at 7:45? Officer says, Kegan, this isn't about me. Kegan's saying, you get what I'm saying, though? People don't remember every little thing about life. Okay, they go back and forth with that. Where the grandparents live, okay. Then officer says, I understand that you connected to a Wi-Fi source that was in that house. Kegan said, no, I did not. I'm telling you 1,000% I don't go anywhere besides Redacted's and my grandma's. So why would you tell investigators that you went there when you didn't? Kegan said, because he was like, where do you ever go? That's the only places I go. I don't know what I was doing on that day 2 weeks ago. I don't no. It's like if someone asked me right now, what were you doing 2 weeks ago on a Monday? I have not the slightest clue. Inaudible. The officer says, so then with your logic, then back then when you said that maybe you weren't with your dad all day. Kegan says, right. Could it be possible? Kegan says, yeah, I mean, the only time I ever really left my dad was when I would go to Redacted's really and get weed. That's about it. So he cannot provide a consistent alibi for his father. Very interesting. He also says he didn't have a car. Then they keep talking about Redacted. He's one of your best friends. I mean, he's a good friend. Yeah. Interesting. The officer said, how come when you rattled off your list of friends you'd known previously, you omitted Redacted? I'm assuming this is the same Redacted he buys weed from. But he's saying he's a good friend of mine. Wow, now the officer says, so yeah, you gave him a list of your friends twice when they interviewed you previously, and you completely omitted Redacted. You didn't even mention him. And even today, you still haven't mentioned Redacted, and you even asked me why when I asked you. This is not looking good for Kegan here. Wow, this is crazy. Wow, this is getting real crazy. Kegan responds, because there's a reason why you don't. There's a reason why. Don't you look up Redacted, Indiana? Look that up. No, tell me why. I have no idea. Kegan responds, because he's a drug dealer big time. I don't want my name associated with someone that sells pounds of weed. I don't want that. I don't want to say that, and then the Peru Police Department be like, okay, well, he messes with someone that you know sells large amounts of weed. Let's watch him. Let's arrest him. You just said, Inaudible, but you just said Redacted sells you weed and you're fine with associating with him. He responds, I mean, Redacted don't have no weed, and I don't really. Inaudible. You said he sells you weed. Yeah, but I'm saying, like, Inaudible, but you associate with him. An ounce is a lot different than a pound. The cops aren't going to come raid his house over an ounce of weed. So he's basically afraid that he would lead the cops to this drug dealer. But now he finally, I guess they brought up the name, and Kegan admitted that he knew him. This is all kind of weird. Then he's saying he blew him off in Vegas. Okay, all right, this is really weird. So did Kegan get into some kind of mess or trouble with drug dealers, and did that somehow intersect with people he was talking to or allowing to use his phone? Because they're asking him all these questions about this guy that he buys weed from. They keep asking him if he's protecting somebody. Then Kegan asks, you think I know who killed them? The officer says, absolutely. Kegan responds, oh my God. Officer asks, absolutely, because, and you know why I know that? Kegan says this, well, you're obviously terrible at your job. If you really honestly think that, you're absolutely terrible at your job, sir. I'm sorry to say that. Oh, wow. Okay, so Kegan does not seem to be intimidated here. I mean, at least we have that bit of info from this interview. I mean, if there's one thing that we can clearly determine, it seems to be that Kegan Kline is not intimidated by these officers, although he did throw in that sir there when he's saying he's absolutely terrible at his job. They ask him again, do you know who killed those girls? No. Officer says, hang on, I'm not literally asking you right now. Do you know for sure who killed those girls? No. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, you did say no both times in your polygraph, and guess what? That was deception. So I guess the officers are saying here that or at least they're either lying about him failing that part of the question or they're not. But they're stating to him here that he failed the question of whether or not he knew for sure who killed them. Kegan responds, hey, a lot of people fail those lie detectors. What are you talking about? Why do you think that? Because they can't use those in court. There's a reason that you can't use a polygraph in court, because people fail like me who have anxiety problems that are freaking out. Officer says, but those people that fail for other cases or whatever you're referencing weren't talking to the victim of a crime the day of, weren't grooming them. Kegan says, O.J. Simpson, yes, he was. Officer says, well, you looked that up too? Yeah, I know about, what do you mean? Kegan asks, you don't know who O.J. Simpson is? Well, Kegan really does not seem to be intimidated here. I think that's the only really major takeaway, because all of this other inconsistency is really weird. He does also seem to be afraid of this drug dealer, or pretending to be. Then Kegan says, you can come in here and literally talk for 24 hours straight. I don't know anything about that, referencing to the meetup on the High Bridge. Then they're asking why he remembers other things so perfectly. He responds because he's making money, or referencing to weed. Okay. They go back in they go in circles over all of this regarding the weed. Officer asks, who are you afraid of to tell me that was using the Anthony Shots account? Kegan responds, nobody. I told you redacted. That's the only other person that could have had my phone. That's literally it. Officer said, not in Vegas. Kegan responds, okay. Officer asks, he's not talking to Liberty, question mark. Kegan responds, I don't remember talking to them. So who was? Who was them? Kegan responds, I don't know. Obviously it was me, but I don't remember it. You know what I mean? I just don't remember talking to him. Wow. Okay. They pretty much just keep going back in circles about why they're having trouble believing him and all of the evidence stacked against him and how everything looks. Then they also bring up, you tell investigators you only talked to her once and then you blocked her. This is regarding Liberty. And Kegan responds, that's what I remember. Inaudible, Kegan also says, but that's what I'm saying in my memory, that's what happened. I don't remember ever talking to her like that. Why do you have altered memory? I feel that you feel somewhat responsible. Kegan says, for what? Officer says, for them dying. Kegan responds, why would I feel responsible for something I know nothing about? What do you mean? Then they go back and forth about the searching again. What does it all mean? Is he lying? This is a long interview. It looks like they're just trying to break him, but he's clearly not. He's just really does not seem intimidated here. I don't know what to make of this. Officer says again, right before she died, we have witness statements that talked to Anthony Shots that said they were talking about meeting up, even to the point so far that she said Anthony Shots told her when they said, oh my God, what happened? Hey, I was supposed to meet her, but she didn't show up. That's evidence. Kegan says, I don't think I ever said that. Here's another thing too. Is it possible if somebody's not responsible, but they're trying, for whatever reason, attention seeking or whatever, they just say they were supposed to meet up with her and then she doesn't show? To make them more, to insert themselves into the case to make them seem important? Or, I don't know. If these are really deranged people, do they think that seems, I don't know. Is there a reason they would do that? Kegan says, I don't think I ever said that. The only person that used your phone for the Anthony Shots account was you. Kegan says, yeah, that doesn't mean I killed 2 people. I didn't say that, but you did sure tell her then that you were supposed to meet her and that she didn't show up, because that's the evidence. That's true fact evidence, okay? So let's just focus on that one minute detail. That conversation that happened that went back and forth, and again, I'll refresh your mind, where the girl contacted Anthony Shots and said, did you hear what happened to Liberty? And Anthony Shots responded, OMG, what happened? And then she goes and tells him what happened, and then Anthony Shots says, well, I was supposed to meet that girl, but she never showed up. So let's focus on that one conversation of evidence we know is true, and it doesn't matter if you remember or not. Kegan responds, right. But then who would have had access? Who would have said that if it wasn't you, who supposedly is the only one who had access to? Nobody. Nobody had access but me, so I don't know. What I'm saying is I don't remember saying that, but it had to be me if I'm the only person that uses it. So why would you say I was going to meet her, but she never showed up? Why would you say that? They just keep going back and forth with that, and he's saying he just doesn't remember. He's saying it must have been him, but he doesn't remember. Man, this is all weird. Kegan says, I told you for the last 30 minutes. I've told you. I'm not lying. I don't know anyone who did this. I didn't do this. I don't know anyone about the redacted. I don't know any of that. You just said you knew the redacteds. I'm saying I don't know who looked in her expletive window. I don't know anything about that. Officer says, what I'm telling you is we need to clear up the statement of Anthony Schatz. We need to do that because we can. Kegan responds, I said it 3 times now. I never remember saying that. Even if I said it, I don't remember saying it. And they're just saying they need to clear this up. He's saying, I don't know, does not clear it up. He responds, well, that's what you're going to get out of me because I really don't know. I don't remember saying that. That just goes to show you how serious, like I've talked to so many girls, I don't remember. I don't even remember saying that. They keep questioning about why he did all these extensive searches in Vegas regarding the Delphi murders. They ask him why he's picking and choosing the things he remembers. Wow. Okay. I mean, they just keep going in circles here for a while. Then they say they're going to take him to the county jail, and then he gets handcuffed here. All right, so that's what we have there. Really weird interview, but the one thing we can really tell for sure here, I mean, Kegan Kline is talking to them like someone not intimidating. I mean, like someone not intimidated. I mean, that much is clear. So, yeah, highly, highly interesting. And this just goes to show all of the discussion going on before this transcript was released. It looked to be pretty accurate regarding what the police were looking at him for. Certain details was all very accurate. So again, another instance where all these coincidence theorists, authority worshipping cultists, law enforcement apologists who criticize all the speculation online saying it's nothing but rumor, they're vindicated yet again. I mean, it's just curious how all these rumors, obviously not 100% of them, but a good portion turn out to be true, verified by actual transcripts. So, yeah, it's really, really interesting. I mean, a lot of clueless goofs just worship law enforcement, and they think any kind of discussion or even keeping up awareness through this discussion somehow should not be done. Nobody should be discussing rumors, etc., etc. I mean, obviously, awareness is how cases get solved. So, just goes to show, again, which I repeat many times, obviously 100% of rumors are not going to be true, but a certain percentage, in a lot of cases, they do turn out to be true. And that's why on Mindshock, we don't fall for any of these silly logical fallacies like appeal to authority or false dichotomies or any of that nonsense. All right, another thing we're going to go over is a retired FBI agent's take on this transcript. This is on wishtv.com. Retired FBI agent on Kegan Kline transcript. This interview looked to me a little bit like a Hail Mary. By Demi Johnson, posted March 25th, 2022. iTeammate continues to dig into the shocking discovery obtained by iTeammate surrounding the Delphi murders. It's a story we first reported Thursday that involves new evidence police might have in the deaths of Abby Williams and Libby German. On Friday, iTeammate discussed a 194-page interview transcript with a retired FBI agent. The transcript goes word by word through an interview with Kegan Kline, an Indiana State Police detective and a sheriff's deputy. Kline is the man in jail accused of creating a fake social media account to get sexual pictures and videos of underage girls. That's the same account state police are investigating in Abby and Libby's murders. As News 8 first told you Thursday, the interview includes Kline admitting he communicated with Abby. Kline and state police also talked about a polygraph test that Kline says he failed. Retired FBI Special Agent in Charge Michael Tabman said he isn't sure this interview will do much for the investigation. It is good to know when someone is lying, but in this case, it didn't seem to have any impact on the suspect, and honestly, I don't know where you go from here in terms of an interview, in that you've kind of already shown your hand unless you really do develop new evidence, said Tabman. iTeammate asked Tabman, you saw the transcript. When you read the transcript, did you think that they were interviewing a suspect, or did you think that they were just fishing? Now, his response here is actually interesting. Little bit of both. This guy clearly is a suspect no matter what. The fact that he was communicating with this victim under illegal and indecent reasons, then this person's dead, certainly makes him a suspect. This interview looked to me a little bit like a Hail Mary. Let's just go out there and see if we can't pressure him into it and keep pointing out that we know when he's lying, Tabman said. Tabman said it's important to note he doesn't know every detail the Delphi investigative team knows. Tabman said he is sharing observation based on his time and experience in the FBI. The interview also gives the first public indication that police believe two people used the Anthony Shots account. Tabman said the interview is clear police are looking for someone else who used the account. He said now that the transcript is out that the other person likely knows and the investigators need a new plan of action. Kline has not been charged in Abby and Libby's murders. In fact, no one has been arrested in the case. I'm also going to read an interesting comment here on L. Saw's YouTube video, Libby and Abby Delphi Part 1 Tarot Reading. 6 months ago, someone posted this. So this is before any of the leaks here. I haven't looked into this case much, but one of my friends is very psychic. He is in different ways. He is a natural remote viewer and more for over 50 years. He said it's also corrupt in Delphi. He said Bridge Guy was Kegan, who would have been 20 that day, and herded the girls to others. Liberty German was the target, and Abigail Williams was with her friend. He said it was anger and revenge against the father, Derek German, for being a police informant against Ashley. Ashley went to jail and lost custody of her child. Garrett was her boyfriend and lived in her apartment while Ashley was in jail. Also, Garrett met Nicole. Later, Garrett lured Nicole to a place where she was attacked and in a fight against Ashley. Garrett put Nicole in a headlock and was killed by Garrett and Ashley. Nicole was believed to want to tell law enforcement about Garrett killing Ray. Ray was posed sexually. Garrett is known to pose his victims sexually. And there is so much more and more players in all this. I could look into it, including dreamwalking, but I just don't want to, since others like my great friend probably already has. It is so bad I could not live in Delphi. Justice for the victims. Okay, so when was Kegan Kline's name first made public? Because this was posted 6 months ago here, and it was not edited. Now, unless this is some kind of YouTube glitch where it was edited and it's not showing up as edited, I don't know. I mean, this is curious. This is very curious. So this video itself was posted July 6, 2021, and this comment 6 months ago regarding the psychic, he said Bridge Guy was Kegan. Okay, I don't know. Make of that what you will, everybody. Also, the last thing I want to go over here is the timeline in the usage of the Anthony Shots account. Do we have definitive proof that someone using the Shots account doesn't know that other people using the Shots account might be involved in the Delphi murders? Because let's look at the timeline here. So the girls' bodies are found February 14th, 2017, according to the official timeline. So, but regardless, give or take, let's say even 2 to 3 days. The man allegedly looking in the window, the ski mask, this is what police told Kline. I don't know if this is verified. Did they lie to him and this is not connected to the Anthony Shots account? But whatever. Let's say they weren't lying in this interview. The man looking into the window, this occurred February 20th, 2017. So 6 days after the bodies are found, this guy's going around and looking into girls' windows in a ski mask. Is this the behavior of somebody who just committed murders? This is 6 days later, if the police are to be believed here. And then 5 days after that, that's when Kline's home is raided, February 25th, 2017. So what does everybody make of this timeline here? I mean, this is weird. I mean, this is 3 different counties here. The bodies are found Carroll County. The man looking into the window incident is in Cass County, 1 county to the east, and then 1 more county to the east is Miami County, where Kline resides with his pops. So what's going on here? Now, the murders are obviously big news. So, despite the murders, 6 days later, there's a guy in a ski mask leering and peering into bedrooms. I mean, this is kind of weird. This is kind of weird. I don't know what to make of this timeline because if, again, we believe law enforcement, they're saying someone linked to the Anthony Shots profile. Immediately after communication there was a man looking in the window. So are these just online predators who just don't care that bodies were just discovered in Carroll County? Or do they, it's hard to, if they're using the Anthony Shots account, how could they not know about the murder? I mean, even if they don't watch TV, if they're on social media, if they're using a phone, they're on Instagram, I mean, they're talking to this, I mean, I don't know what to make of that. Or are the police lying and this incident never actually took place? Or it did take place, but it had nothing to do with the Shots account and they just made that up to try to trip him up. Is that what happened there? I mean, I don't know. There's just so much that does not add up in this case. There's so much that does not add up involving Kline and his involvement. And the takeaway from that interview, Kline really wasn't intimidated. So make of that what you will. Does that make him more likely to be dumb and lucky that he wasn't tripped up and caught on something if he was involved, even if not directly involved? Or is he a super genius here? I mean, I don't know. This is really, really weird. Or is he just mentally so out of it through drug use that he's just all over the place? And he may or may not have had some involvement or knew somebody, but he genuinely doesn't remember. Is that what really happened here? Wow. I mean, this is just, this is a lot to go over. I mean, we got plenty more to go over, too. There's been a few other theories proposed that we do need to go over, and a couple of other unanswered questions that need to be discussed as well. So plenty more to come. Hope you guys enjoyed another edition of Mindshock True Crime in the Delphi Case series. If you enjoyed the podcast, want to help support the podcast, you can donate to our PayPal. Just check the link in the description. You can also become a YouTube member right here on YouTube for access to exclusive streams and chats. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like and share, Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, Patreon. Patrons do get priority for case topic, logical analysis, co-podcast requests. You can also be a guest in the podcast depending on your tier. Questions, comments, theories, thoughts, suggestions, rebuttals, debunkings of any kind, leave them in the comment section. This is Bruce McGuire signing off. Catch you guys next time.